What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Birds of the Roundtable. Just me and Ryan tonight. We're going to break down all the top takeaways between the Eagles and Bears before we head in deep dive into the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Happy Dallas week. Ryan, what's going on, man?
Not much. Love this week. I always love the late season Eagles Cowboys game because usually there's something on the line. This time, obviously, the number one seed on the line, but yeah, it's always enjoyable. And man, a win would just make the Christmas Day that much better.
I'm excited. I don't know about your family, but like my entire family, immediate family, are just diehard Eagles fans, and we've already set a precedent for Christmas Eve. No kids at all for this game because the amount of drinking, eating, swearing that's going to go down, Hurts or no Hurts, it's going to be absolutely epic, man. What? Any plans for this game Christmas Eve?
So yeah, it's normally yes, I would be right there with you, but yeah, for whatever reason, both sets of parents are away. They've decided to kind of break from tradition, so it's going to be a little small, intimate, just the fam, just the three of us. But all I said to my wife was, "Just give me a TV."
That's facts, though. That's straight up facts. All right, let's jump right in. We'll go offense, then the defense. Top takeaways from the Eagles' offense for the Chicago Bears, man. Lead us off, dude. What did we learn?
Yeah, listen, we did Birds of the Roundtable last week. We did the pregame. We were extremely confident going into this game. We were expecting 20-point blowouts. We were they're going to score 40, 45 points. The Bears will be lucky if they scored 10. We were a little feeling ourselves. And, we got to give the Bears some credit. They humbled us. They made it a game. Fields, you can just tell, man, like he may not have the complete game, but man, is he electric? Is he just fun to watch? The way he can just kind of get out of that pocket and move so fluidly. And that one run that, was, a half an inch away from being a touchdown was just amazing.
Like that probably would have been like arguably like a top 10 highlight.
Play of the year. Yeah, no doubt. And, so they definitely humbled us. And Hurts didn't have a great first half. But again, they were able to come down, take the lead going into half, and they were able to maintain it through the game. And, listen, just because the Bears, have only won a couple of games this year doesn't mean that they're still an NFL team. And I think that's what people kind of forget a lot of the times, that even the Houston Texans, who have won, one game, they have battled some teams, and they don't really have talent either.
The Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. The Cowboys, the Chiefs, they've put it on some teams, but again, they don't have a lot of talent. They can't close out games. Kind of like the Bears, they don't have a lot of talent. Fields certainly is by far their most talented player, and unfortunately, they don't have a lot around him. And throughout the whole team to kind of, close out those games. And luckily for us, we do. So I think, again, it was kind of one of those games where, hey, listen, not a lot went right. There was a lot of turnovers. And we still were able to find a way to win because we have a good system. We have a good team. We have the right players with the right coaches. And we were able to pull out the victory when, let's be honest, that first half, they didn't really deserve it. They weren't very good. They weren't very sound. They weren't fundamentally good at all. But, listen, they adjusted enough to get the win. And in this league, that's really all that matters.
Absolutely agree. I'm going to throw up Jalen Hurts' game log to everything we have seen to date. I'm just gonna piggyback off what kind of you just talked about. This is games like the Bears are exactly why I do not gamble at all.
True.
I would have lost so much money on this game, and it's not even funny. Number two, I think my takeaway here for the offense is Jalen Hurts taking so many shots, and I mean that like literally and literally. I'm talking about his arm and from the Bears defense. I was a little shocked at kind of how much the Bears were able to get to Jalen Hurts. I was a little shocked at how the Eagles' game plan was to attack so heavily downfield. I mean, we talked about it during the pregame. I expected them to go down deep with the pass, but it was just a lot of imbalance. You look at Jalen Hurts against the Bears, 12.6 air yards per throw. Dude, that's his highest mark of the 2022 season. I was really surprised at that. On throws 20 yards or more, Jalen Hurts finished the day going 4 of 12 and 2 interceptions. And given the weather, given that Miles Sanders is coming off of a game where he had a career high in rushing, given that we saw 11 design runs from Jalen Hurts and 11 carries total from Miles Sanders, I just didn't like the game plan, man. The Eagles' 14 carries by running backs was tied for the fewest on the season. It was just a little baffling. It was a weird game plan. It was a weird game. It was just everything was weird about the Bears game. But at the end of the day, on the plus side, like despite taking so many hits, despite everything, Jalen Hurts went 6 of 9 for 102 yards in the fourth quarter, including that 68-yard bomb to A.J. Brown, which was an absolute perfect pass. Given his injury,
right,
that was impressive.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's almost like they went into the game just knowing that maybe they had a little leeway and they were, hey, you know what? Let's try something a little different. Let's blah 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 whatever. That's the only kind of thing I can think of, or at least maybe put a positive spin on. They were just trying to try something a little different, and listen, it obviously didn't work. And hopefully they move forward and realize that game plan does not work. I mean, you're right. They ran the ball with Hurts a little too much, too many designed runs. It wasn't until the second quarter that Sanders got those 2 runs in a row for his first 2 carries of the game. It's just silly, especially coming off 144 yards, one of his better performances. He's over the 1,000-yard mark for the first time in his career. First time an Eagle has done it since 2014 with Shady. Like, I don't understand. Like, you have to mix in that pass, and especially considering what happened with Hurts, basically getting laid on by that Bears defender, spraining his shoulder. Looks like he's probably not going to be playing this upcoming week, which honestly I'm okay with. And honestly, if Minshew can get the job done, which I fully believe he can, then that's even better. Because then you're not going to rush him back. You're going to let him heal as much as you can. And listen, even if you throw him in for like a quarter during the Giants game or something, just to kind of get something, some action going before the playoffs, which again, you'll have another bye week, hopefully. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with limiting him until he's fully ready to go.
Yep. I could not be on board more. Unpopular opinion, I agree. Like, why give the Cowboys any more tape than they need? Like, why risk Jalen Hurts against arguably right there with the Birds, the best pass rush in football? Yeah. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to rush him back in this one. I know Nick Sirianni, we'll get to the Cowboys in just a second, but Nick Sirianni didn't shut the door on that. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, I think that's more or less of, the old strategy of making them kind of plan for both. I fully believe that it will be the porn stash, as I Love Weed states. Yeah, I fully believe it'll be Minshew. And listen, if Minshew's able to get this job done, my gosh, that'll be the best thing for the Eagles. Not only obviously will you wrap up the number one seed and the division in one fell swoop, you'll have swept the Cowboys, and then you will also, which I think is also just as, if not more important, you will give Jalen Hurts no reason to come back before he is ready.
That would be interesting.
That's the most beautiful thing, because you need him to be 1,000% ready to go for those playoffs.
Mhm.
So if Minshew gets this job done, it'll be the greatest thing he's ever done.
Yep. Go porn stash. What's going on, man? Thanks for joining. Let us know your thoughts on this upcoming.
Yeah, please
versus
let us
Cowboys, man.
know your thoughts, pal. I know who you root for.
He's definitely a Dallas.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Let's jump right into this. Our defense takeaways here against the Bears before we get into the Dallas Cowboys. I'll lead us off. I think it's pretty obvious. Just the dominant pass rush is something that I've just loved watching from the Birds. Hassan Reddick, Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, both of those guys had 2 sacks. You look at how just impactful those guys were. 5 of the Chicago Bears' 12 drives ended by sacks. If you go back to the last several weeks, man, the Eagles have been killing it, especially their pass rush on third downs. You look at kind of their sack totals is now at 55, and they only need 8 more in the final 3 games to break the franchise record.
What I thought the record was 61. Was it 60?
Is it?
I don't know. I know it's like right there. Either way, I mean, 7, 8, 9. It doesn't matter. I mean, they are clearly going to break this record, which again is we mentioned it in the post game. We have been screaming for a team to be that team that gets those sacks, because we've always been the hurry up the quarterback but not get home. And we are finally getting home, leading the league in sacks, and it's
dude, finally getting home. They're almost the first team in NFL history with 4 players with 10 sacks in a season.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, what? Hassan Reddick has 12. Graham, I think, has 8.5. Because he didn't get any. Sweat now has 9.5. Hargrave, shouldn't Hargrave have 10 now?
All right, I'm looking up.
I'm pretty sure it's Hassan Reddick 12, Hargrave 10, Sweat 9.5, Graham 8.5, and then if you want to throw Cox in there, who I think has like 6.
Yeah, here's Hassan Reddick's game log, who has just been absolutely nuts, man. He
was so impactful yesterday.
Nuts, man. Like look at like since week 3, man, he's almost gotten a sack in every game, or at least one. His pressures, even on plays where he's not getting sacks, he's right there in the backfield, just so consistently. You want to hear a crazy fact here on this one? I'm jumping the gun here on my Cowboys preview. Hassan Reddick has a 1% less pass rush win rate than Parsons.
Yeah.
That's how good he has been.
Yeah, and everybody
don't really talk about enough about him, man.
Yeah, no, and everybody is so loves talking about Parsons, and for good reason. He's obviously a great player. But yeah, the fact that Hassan Reddick is kind of forgotten about in that regard, he's putting up that work too, and it's showing. He has 12 sacks in the season. I think he's first or second in either fumbles, forced fumbles, or fumble recoveries. You combine all that together, he's such a complete defensive player, and such a great pass rusher.
Yep. Allison says Hurts can make you pay for press man. Minshew doesn't have that arm. We're gonna get into this. I literally just watched rewatch that Eagles versus Jets game. I think it was a late week 13 type of game. Right before we get back on here. So I have some notes to kind of break down Gardner Minshew.
Nice.
I'm just a big nerd. Tyler Reed says, "Go Cowboys! Hit the like piece." Thanks, man. Good luck this week, man.
Yeah, seriously, good luck, and you need to come back next week so that we can celebrate our victory.
Yeah, I'm about to do a deep dive into the Cowboys, man. This is not a good time to leave yet because I want to hear your thoughts. Anthony Hand says, after rewatching the game, I just noticed just how flawless this secondary is. When all three of our corners are healthy, there's never anyone out of place. The all 22 is beautiful. Yeah, we saw a lot more Avante playing safety this week. That was really neat to see. We've been kind of wanting to see that. I don't know how much that's going to stick, but I thought Darius Slay, James Bradbury, like those two guys are just always driven, man. This is going to be fun. Like CeeDee Lamb versus Darius Slay is going to be worth the ticket of admission for sure. We'll break that soon. Yep.
Yeah, honestly, there's only that one play at the end of the game for that touchdown where it seemed to be a little confusion. But outside of that, yeah, they were pretty stellar as far as needing to be right where they needed to be, and they like that all season, honestly. And you've been doing it the last couple of games without Gardner Johnson, who's been such a bright spot on this team since he got here. And obviously that, you just mentioned Avante playing safety. I'm sure after this Dallas game, if Gardner Johnson is able to go versus the Saints, which I'm sure he will absolutely need and want to be for that one, playing against his old teammates. But that'll just complete this picture of finally having a fully healthy secondary with Gardner Johnson, Epps, Slay, Bradbury, Maddox. I mean, think about those five right there. I mean, they are just such a solid group that we haven't had in our defensive backfield in quite some time.
And, before we get into the Cowboys, like, quick shout out to Kayvon Wallace, who did not kill the Eagles on Sunday.
He had a solid game.
Yeah, Cannon played him way up, in the box, keeping everything in front of him. He was fine. He didn't get killed, and that's really all you ask for when it comes to Kayvon Wallace.
Right.
So, yeah, it was good. It was really, really good defensively. All right, here we go. Let's jump into the Dallas Cowboys. Looking at last week, they had a 21-7 lead over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ryan, I don't know if you knew that. Oh, yeah, you were on the post-game show. Remember us freaking out? That was
the first, literally, the first 5 seconds of this post-game show, we're all sitting there, and we're like, wait, what just happened? What just happened? And it just happened right as we were going live. It was fantastic. It was such a great moment, seeing that interception return for the touchdown. Dougie P helping us out one last time. In fact, I read an article that someone actually sent Doug Peterson and his staff 35, 40 cheesesteaks, fries, stuff like that, just to thank him for beating Dallas. It's such a funny story, but shit, we have it here. There we go.
Why not? It's just both of us here. I'm gonna play it. Hold on, do I have to hit this? Hell yeah! Eagles move on to 13-1. Eagles get the W today, 25-20. Here we go. Over the Chicago Bears. Not at all did it go as planned in this one. We're gonna break down the offense, break down the defense here, as the Jacksonville Jaguars pick off the Dallas Cowboys and go down the sideline in overtime. Jacksonville! Oh my God! Yes!
I called this game this morning on the PM and the AM. I said Jacksonville was 4.
The division's over now. Pretty much, the Eagles, all they have to do is win one more. Dallas lose one more. The Eagles win the division.
Oh my God! Welcome to Eagles.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great? Stinking Cowboys.
Oh, that is so great.
I hate Dallas so much, man. That is just priceless.
Yeah,
Priceless
you definitely need to post that if you already have
stuff. So that was us during the post-game show. Literally right when it started, Rashawn something, Slayton, something like that.
Later or something. Yeah.
Picked off.
I don't know who he is, but man, I can't thank him enough.
Yeah, actually, like Dallas had some things to play for in this game. They had a playoff berth on the line there. They completely fell apart. Jacksonville went on a 27-10 run to force overtime. I think the Cowboys only had like 100 or so passing yards in the second half in overtime. And then Dak Prescott got picked off by Rayshon Jenkins. Man. So a walk-off overtime touchdown. We're going to break down kind of our top matchups to watch. Week 16 preview here. Eagles offense versus Cowboys defense, man. Lead us off, dude. What are you watching?
Yeah, listen, it's obviously this Dallas defense is very good, especially their pass rush. They are, they have a lot of great pass rushers. Obviously, starting with Micah Parsons, who is obviously going to be the focus of what I at least am going to be paying attention to. The last time we played them, we neutralized him pretty decently, and a couple of teams have followed suit and have neutralized him in a way very similar. The last couple of weeks, anyways. And listen, it's going to be Lane Johnson. It's going to be Malata. They are going to be very important, as he definitely likes to come around the edge. So. Listen, if they can have a similar game plan to what they had the first time around, let's go for it, because we were able to limit him in such a way that he wasn't such a big impact on this game. Because if he's let loose, he certainly can change a game. So I'm definitely going to be looking, as far as that is concerned, is trying to neutralize Parsons and some of their other pass rushers. And especially if I guess it doesn't really matter if Hurts is in the game. You obviously want to protect him and not try and get him hurt anymore than he already is. And if Minshew's there, well, you want to give him that time to feel comfortable and get in his rhythm, because we've seen Minshew, when he is able to kind of get his time and get in his rhythm, he's a pretty good quarterback. He can absolutely start for more than a few teams in the NFL right now. I mean, there's some putrid starting quarterbacks in some teams right now. So, yeah, I'm going to be big-time focused on the offensive line. Other than that, we're getting Dallas Goedert back. He's officially been activated, which is fantastic. And not only that, if Minshew is in there, man, is that going to help him tremendously. You're getting that added bonus of having your actual offense being able to be run, because – Goddard just does so much for you in so many ways, not only as a pass catcher, but as a blocker, and just kind of how your offense is set up. So he's going to have that added bonus. So I'm going to be obviously paying attention to Goddard, seeing exactly how much kind of they put him out there, if they're going to limit him at all, or if they're going to tell him go full on and do what you do, because he can definitely take over a game, and he's been definitely missed. For sure, and that'll help Brown. That'll help Smith even more, as they won't be the complete main focus. Obviously, last game they basically combined for over 300 yards total receiving, which is insane. Yeah. I think you have all of that, and then last but not least, I gotta say, you have to get Miles Sanders involved in this game. You can't not give him a carry in the first freaking quarter. Like, that just cannot happen. And considering that you're not going to have design runs for Minshew, at least not, 11 of them, or however many they did last week against the Bears, you have to get him involved. you're not going to be able to rely on that other aspect of this offense with Hurts running. So you obviously have to replace that with some other running. So get him involved early, get Goddard involved early, and let's hold those Dallas defensive edge rushers at bay.
Love it, man. Kamar says he agrees with you. Miles Sanders will have a quiet 200 all-purpose game. My
I will
goodness.
absolutely take that.
That would be an all-time Miles Sanders game right there. That'd be nuts. Quinn says we need Sanders to have a big day. We'll see, man.
You just know what's up.
We'll see. The Cowboys have been gashed just as much on the ground as they have through the air. Trevor Lawrence got whatever they wanted.
He is starting to come on, huh?
Yeah, let's kind of stay on track here because I have so much to talk about. Dallas Goedert being back is absolutely massive for this team. Most notably for Gardner Minshew, because I just watched that Jets game right before here, and man, like it's easy to forget. Like the dude was 20 of 25 for 242 yards and 2 touchdowns. What he was really good at in that game was getting the ball out fast, getting the ball to your playmakers. We saw a lot of play action. We saw a lot of quick screens, a lot of check downs, passes to Dallas Goedert on the sideline, in screen, like a lot of passes to Miles Sanders. The yards after the catch in that game was sensational. We saw Quez Watkins get 3 big plays on first downs. That's definitely worth noting, considering he's been definitely a bigger focal point of the Eagles' offense in recent weeks. But Dallas Goedert, man, had his best game in last season with Gardner Minshew, man. He had 2 scores, a lot of those coming after the catch, yards coming after the catch. I don't think he dropped a single target. We're going to talk about player of the game predictions a little bit later. I'm feeling pretty good about a Dallas Goedert game in this one because you look at this Cowboys pass defense, outside of Diggs, man, they are hurting. They are hurting big time. And guys that I'm thinking about right here is, what's his name? Kelvin Joseph absolutely got torched against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He got beat for 2 touchdowns on 3 targets for 69 yards. He also had a missed tackle. He's just been picked apart. So definitely keep an eye on or just look at this guy, Kelvin Joseph, because he probably shouldn't be out there. But the pass defense for the Cowboys has not been good in recent weeks. And you talk about A.J. Brown, man. We talk about all these records being set by Jalen Hurts and, Hassan Reddick and the pass rush for the Birds, man. How about A.J. Brown being 208 yards away from breaking Mike Quick's record of over 1,400 yards? A.J. Brown's about to break an Eagle. Everyone's like, you break a record. You break a record. This entire Eagles team is breaking so many records. It's getting crazy.
Yeah, he just passed T.O. on the all-time yards in the season list, which is pretty impressive considering what a magical season that was. But I mean, you're right. I mean, it's all over the place that we're coming up to big milestones, whether it's seasonal, whether it's you getting over the 1,000 yards, whether it's breaking Eagles records. This season has been just honestly unfathomable. I don't think any of us could have predicted the season going this well this quickly.
Mm-hmm. And another guy talking about pass defense one more time is Deron Bland. I think it was an undrafted free agent for the Cowboys. Dude has 4 interceptions this year. He had 1 against Jacksonville. He did pretty good against Christian Kirk, who's a pretty decent receiver. Deron Bland was targeted 10 times and only gave up 5 catches for 48 yards against Jacksonville. So that's definitely a guy you want to keep an eye out for in this one. You brought up Miles Sanders. the Cowboys have really struggled. Their run defense has really struggled, especially in recent weeks. You look at Jacksonville, 192 rushing yards, 7.1 yards per carry. The Cowboys had 8 missed tackles. I think their numbers are really interesting because here we go. So Dallas's run defense is 24th. They give up 133.1 yards per game. They're 25th in run stop win rate. But dude, they're I think they tied for second. They're tied for second best in only giving up 7 rushing touchdowns. And that's pretty impressive. So I think the guy to watch out for here in this one is DeMarcus Lawrence, one of the best run defenders in the game. He's got a 36% run stop win rate, which is tied for number 1 in the NFL. So DeMarcus Lawrence, Parsons, pass rush, those are the 2 big players here. As you can see, he's got on the screen 6 sacks on the season.
Yeah.
All right. So that is. Do you have any other matchups to watch here? Eagles offense versus Cowboys defense.
No, kind of just to add on to the Dallas defensive backfield. You mentioned Duran Bland, who's having a decent season as their nickel. Anthony Brown is hurt as Calvin Joseph is stepping in, and he certainly is somebody that can be targeted for sure. But when you had mentioned the Minshew game against the Jets and how there was a lot of quick passes, a lot of getting the ball out quickly. I mean, to me, and this is the only player he really hasn't played much with is obviously AJ Brown. But man, all I'm picturing is some AJ Brown slants and him just taking it as far as he can. I mean, that sounds like just a recipe for disaster for that Dallas defense. If they're able to get on the same page with some of those slants, my God, AJ Brown might break the record against Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely agree. That's arguably the best play in football.
Yeah, it really is.
Unstoppable. Absolutely. On that and the RPO with Goddard, man, just unstoppable. All right, let me hit the banner here. And we'll roll on to Eagles defense versus Cowboys offense. Lead us off, man. What are you watching?
Listen, for as much as they may get some slack, the Dallas run game is pretty potent. Zeke gets a lot of guff for being paid as much as he is, but listen, with him and Pollard, it is honestly one of the nicest 1-2 punches in the NFL right now. You can't deny it. They mix it up really nicely. And, Zeke is honestly quietly having a decent season, despite, kind of, again, the grief he gets for the contract. So, I think given the fact that we have been addressing our run game defensively over the last, few weeks with the additions and getting Jordan Davis back, that's one big thing is how are we going to neutralize that run game? That's the part of the Dallas defense that I am more worried about. Their pass offense is decent. CeeDee Lamb is a great wide receiver. Dak Prescott, again, is usually pretty solid. He's an above average quarterback for sure, but he is also prone to making mistakes if you get in his face, which I fully expect us to do. So I'm not as worried as the pass game because CeeDee Lamb versus Slay or Bradbury, whoever's going to be on him is going to be an amazing matchup. And that's definitely another one I definitely am going to be loving because I know it's going to be a battle, but I fully expect it's a battle that we're going to be on top of at the end of the day. But it's the run offense for Dallas that I want to see how this new run defense that we've been loving the last couple of weeks, how it's going to stack up and how much Jordan Davis is going to be a part of that.
Dude.
Next year, I feel like I don't see him anymore. Honestly, it's awful.
he's out there, but there's no question that the pecking order, like the totem pole when it comes to stopping the run in run situations, man. Joseph has kind of taken his snaps these last couple weeks. There's no question. That's really interesting development. I mean, I'm not complaining because he's got some amazing kind of vets to kind of learn under. For such a young kid, it's not a problem. But yeah,
as long as it's still working, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I love the Pollard and Zeke take. Tony Pollard versus TJ Edwards is one of mine. You look at kind of Pollard, he led the backfield against Jacksonville with 19 carries. Zeke had 16. But Pollard is definitely way more involved in their passing attack. You'll see him way more involved with Dak, and you look at kind of what he did against Jacksonville. Pollard had 106 yards from scrimmage. 7 times he's had 100 yards or more from scrimmage this season, and he accounted for 35% of the offensive plays for Dallas in that game. So Pollard is like the guy. Yeah. He's definitely a better fit with Dak with what they want to do, get the ball out fast. And Tony Pollard is definitely one to watch out for. TJ Edwards has had a terrific year. Consistently makes plays in the backfield. So that'll be a really fun matchup to watch. Obviously, Darius Slay versus CeeDee Lamb. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, Dallas is really hurting. They don't really have much. Gallup is disappointed. They're struggling.
T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. Hilton. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb is absolutely legit. He caught all 7 of his targets for 126 yards against Jacksonville. He's really good after the catch. So the Eagles definitely have to account for that dude, of course. But I mean, you have James Bradbury, you've got Avante. They'll be fine. They'll be fine there. This is it's going to be fun. I mean, I brought up the stats, but I got rid of it on my browser. Like Dallas's offense has been turning over the ball a lot lately. Yeah. Their game management, situational, management has been really bad lately. And hopefully in favor of the Eagles, that could lead to a lot of turnovers in favor of the Eagles, because the Eagles' defensive takeaways, where are they, by the way? Are they still leading the league?
I still think technically, yes, they are leading the league in takeaways as the last I saw. But yeah, I think the gap has been closing over the last couple of weeks.
Let me get this up here because I really want to see it. I want to show it just so everyone else can see it too. All right, I'm going to share my screen, but look how many turnovers the offense has been putting up. Definitely not when I think of Dallas, I think of a more efficient offense, and not that Dak had a huge interception, but he's not necessarily the problem. He's definitely thrown a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
So here's kind of their schedule for Dallas this season. You look at since week 10, 2 turnovers. Week 12, 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers in week 14, 2 turnovers in week 15. And I think that's the biggest difference is like last year, they were getting so many defensive takeaways. Just offensively, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit, especially against Jacksonville when they had just bad play calling, little things like that when they could have put the game away and they did not.
Yeah.
So just something to note for sure. Let's see. I've got obviously, the matchup to watch: Dak Prescott versus Gannon. Dak Prescott has 11 interceptions in his 9 starts. That's basically it. Those are my top 3. We kind of just already touched on them.
Yeah.
But let's get into player of the game predictions and score predictions. This is way too early, man. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
I know I feel like, especially considering, the Hurts injury and the uncertainty officially.
I don't think he's playing.
I don't think he's playing
I
either.
can pretty much.
I'll predict that. Yeah, I mean, it would be dumb to play him. It would be dumb to play him. You have Minshew in here for a reason. He is considered around the league good enough to be starting on a few teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
So why not utilize him? Let's see if we can squeeze out this win. And if we can, we have number 1 seed locked up. We have the division locked up. And you don't have to rush anybody back, much less Jalen Hurts. Obviously, you still want to beat the Saints for draft pick reasons, but still. Yeah, listen, so darn early, and so many things are going to change by this point on, like Saturday night. Or, I'm sorry, on Friday night, leading into the Saturday game. Right now, I'm going to say my player of the game is Minshew, just because I want it so bad. I'm just trying to put it out in the universe and just let it be known. As far as the score goes, I'm going to say it's going to be a little lower scoring. I'm going to say it's going to be something like 24-20. Again, 2 really good defenses. You have a Dallas team offensively that there you go, Quentin. Same, buddy, same. That has a propensity to turn the ball over. You have a defense in the Eagles that loved getting those turnovers. So I think it's going to be a bit of a back and forth. I'm going to say that Eagles score, late to kind of seal the game. They'll probably be up like 21-20. Get that last minute field goal and call it a game.
Holy cow. Quentin's going.
Minshew 49.
Minshew Mania. Merry Christmas. Minshew Christmas. I don't know.
Minshew throws 7 touchdowns. That'd be great.
That would be insane.
I mean, listen, we do have a thing with our backup quarterbacks, as we all know. Especially, I think somebody put a stat out in like the last 5 or 7 meaningful games when a backup's actually had to come in and play. The Eagles have won all of those games. And also we remember the Jeff Garcia game against Dallas coming back. Come on. We have a lot of history.
Didn't he look right at the camera and say, Merry Christmas, Philadelphia?
Yeah, he's like, Merry Christmas, Philadelphia. And then he was walking away. It was absolutely legendary. And you know what? If you have to know if they win, Minshew's gonna do that. He's gonna do it.
Amazing. Here's my my vibe. There it is. Merry Christmas, Philadelphia.
Very nice. Quentin is on it, man.
Epic quote, man. Man, God, that feels like yesterday. I feel old.
I know, right? Oh my God, Jeff Garcia on the Eagles.
Here's the thing. This is straight up. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, the Eagles' pass defense is not going to give them anything. They're not going to give them anything.
Yeah.
If Lane Johnson stays healthy through this game, he takes out Parsons, 100%. Parsons is getting nothing on Lane. I'm confident. I'm confident if that's the case. I think this is an Eagles W. I do. I think the roster is better. I think I went back to that Jets game with Minshew. They ran the ball 41 times compared to 21 passes. So you're going to see a more focused running attack. I don't need to go into detail about how good when they want to run the ball and kind of cement themselves on the line. They're amazing. And I think this is an Eagles W. I'm going to go Eagles 27. I'll go Dallas 24. And I think it's going to be a fun game, a really fun game. My player of the game prediction is Dallas Goedert. Dallas has done really well with limiting yards and touchdowns from tight ends this year. They've done great, but I just see Dallas having a huge game in this, pun intended, having a big time game in those third downs, in those kind of quick screen plays, getting Jason Kelsey out running in that second level. That's where the Eagles thrive. And I can really see this Eagles offensive line, once they hit that second level, just bullying this Cowboys defense that is really struggling right now. So whether I agree, I think Miles Sanders is going to have a big game, but I think it's going to be kind of like we saw against the Jets with Minshew. Like, he's going to get the ball out fast, and that's going to be the game plan. So 27-24. What was your prediction?
I said 24-20.
Oh yeah, we're right there. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Three,
you did mention the fact that Dallas has certainly been able to limit tight ends throughout this year. Just looking at who they've actually played, I don't see them actually playing anyone that's a decent tight end. I mean, literally. I mean, the best tight end they've probably faced, was Hawkinson on the Detroit Lions in Week 7? Or did he get traded? He might have been traded by then. So, yeah. I mean, well, then I guess then they played Minnesota. So either way, they probably played Hawkinson. But yeah, Hawkinson, the one and only name tight end that they've actually played this year. So outside of Goddard in the first game. So listen, I agree. I think if Goddard is truly 100%, man, he is going to have a day. And there's nothing better than having your tight end whose namesake is Dallas, who was named after Dallas, going into Dallas and destroying Dallas. That sounds like a Christmas ending to all endings. So I'm all for it.
Love it. We have Joe in the house. What's going on, Joe? So the Eagles will win with Minshew. The running game and short passing game will carry the day. We've talked about that, man. I agree. Eagles pass rush will also get to Dak as well. We didn't touch on that, but I'm pretty sure the Cowboys offensive line has been really good this year.
Considering,
Martin, I think his name is Bayadas or something like that. Their numbers are really strong. That's their center, and I think they're right guard or left guard.
But I don't know how to pronounce it either. The center you just named. Martin, obviously the right guard. Tyler Smith over at the left tackle, Steele at the right tackle, and then McGovern is the other guard. But I want to say, is Steele hurt? I think Steele might be hurt. Or maybe I don't know. All I know is that Jason Peters is most likely going to be playing.
Yeah.
Tyler Smith might be playing the right side now. I don't know. I gotta look into it further, but I've read that there's some injuries there, and they're trying to shuffle around, who's where and what. So we could see some Jason Peters out on the field there.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Joe.
What's that? What did I do? This one?
Yeah, the comment on Peters' leg on the field and missing a play.
Love it. Oh man, I don't know. I love Jason Peters.
I do too, but it's you have to laugh about it. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Steele is hurt, and I read that I think they're going to try and have Smith move over to the right side. That way, Peters can play more naturally his left. So we'll see what they end up doing with that. But either way, that would be, two people kind of not in their natural positions only bodes well for Reddick and the gang.
Leighton Vander Esch, is that guy out? Where are we at?
Is he?
I know he got hurt against the Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean they have a pretty deep line.
Yeah, he's out. Leighton Vander Esch is out. He's a good.
Most likely Jabril Cox will step in.
Hey,
probably with Anthony Barr, getting some time in there as well.
Yeah. All right. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Kamar says we have to wrap up Zeke. Absolutely. Absolutely. So even we touched on Tony Pollard earlier in the show, especially in that passing game. Pollard is really, really good. He actually gets more carries than Zeke. So there we are. We have a 4-point win for Ryan. We have a 3-point win on my end. I went with Dallas Goedert as my player of the game. Who's your player of the game? Gardner Minshew?
Yeah, I just went with Gardner. I want all good old Uncle Rico to start slinging it, and
Holy crap!
what a story it would make. To come in Christmas Eve, backup situation, get that number 1 seed just like we did before,
and then looking at the camera when the clock hit 0 and going, "Merry Christmas, Philadelphia."
Absolutely. I mean, literally, think about it. In 2017, this is essentially the same, very similar thing that happened.
It is.
Carson Wentz goes down, and all the number 1 seed all but locked up, and Foles comes in, gets the W, locks up the number 1 seed. Same thing. Gardner comes in, number 1 seed, all but locked up, comes in, beats Dallas, number 1 seed locked.
Love it, man. Love it. I just want to beat the Saints.
I know. I'm so pissed that they ended up winning. But
we have to beat the Saints. We have to
absolutely. I mean, the Saints can't win again the rest of the year.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Anyway, we are wrapping it up here. Ryan, I'm going to throw it to you for plugs, man. Time's yours.
Yeah. Listen, make sure everybody follows Philly Sports Alliance on all social media, and check me out on Twitter as well at Philly Sports PSA. We got shows all week. All your favorite PSA shows, all your favorite TPL shows. Just give us that blind follow.
Love it, man. Let's do this. I'll start off saying Avatar: The Way of Water was really good. If you love movies, the IMAX 3D was terrific. Really, really highly recommended. We don't ever get to go see movies, but we were able to go see it, and it was awesome. NFL draft season is upon us. I wrapped up the defensive side of the football with every position of my top 10 rankings, so you can see all of those on the channel wherever you watch your football content. I am going to do quarterbacks next, and that's not an easy one because after like the first 3 or 4, it's going to be a little interesting. So keep an eye out for that. I'm trying to get all the research and information done by the end of the holiday break. That way we can have fun with mock drafts, fun situations leading up until the Senior Bowl, which I think is early February, and the Combine and stuff moving forward. So putting down all the work now and gonna have a lot more fun doing dueling mocks with my man Ryan over there, where you vote for my team, my 2-round.
Sounds like a young trying to get votes
over Ryan. There's nothing more fun than that. It is the best. We also have some major draft news coming on the channel that I can't announce just yet. So keep an eye out for that one. It's going to be really, really fun. But anyway, thank you everyone who's watched any of my rankings. I don't know why, but those videos tend to do really well on this channel. And I'm just incredibly humble that people actually give a shit about what I have to say about these guys. It's pretty cool. So quarterbacks are this week, and then we will do wide receivers. So check to the defense. Dude, I'm already panicking because what I've been doing my rankings, but I haven't been updating my overall player rankings. I might do that Christmas Day or something. Dude, I've got probably 10,000 words on these guys. I probably have 80 prospects covered already, and I don't have any rankings of the guy overall offense, defense. that I'm like stressed as fuck about doing that stuff. That's like really stressful on my end. So like I'm not even looking forward to that. But I gotta do it. I gotta do it. And of course the rankings will change as the combine, as the Senior Bowl hits and things like that. So again, thank you everyone for watching here. Birds of the Roundtable every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Tons and tons of fun. My man Ryan over there. Shane couldn't be here. He's out traveling for Christmas. He'll be back next week for sure. Of course.
Ryan will be back next week. I think he had his annual holiday Christmas party tonight.
Cool. Yeah, it's a lot of traveling. It's a lot of fun. I have no idea what's happening for the Dallas game when it comes to pregame, halftime, postgame. I kind of want to do it. I promise you, though, if you're still watching us live right now, if you want to see me like completely hammered drunk, that is definitely the show to watch because
I might have to want to come on for that show
because that is going to be wild with my family, and I might do it. I'm not sure yet. It's up in the air at this point.
Let me know.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching. My man Ryan over there at Philly Sports PSA. Go check out Philly Sports Alliance anywhere you get your Philly sports content. I am Dibs, Mr. Crockpot, for Ryan, for myself. Stay awesome, everyone.